information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented here for entertainment and educational purposes only.
Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. Where each week we bring you the health information to help you understand the simple healing secrets you can use to keep your body well, allowing you to live a healthy life so you enjoy every minute you are here on earth. Living Waters Wellness Center was formed after we discovered how to heal my body from multiple symptoms, including allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, back pain, psoriasis, acne, hives, yeast infections, and finally cancer. After 20 years of trying numerous different treatments, supplements, cleanses, iridology, muscle therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, acupressure, homeopathy, naturopathy, those experiences let us discover the recipe that became known as the 4 natural laws of healing, combining multiple natural healing modalities to fully detox and cleanse the body, and then allowing the body to take the perfect nutrition to fully restore the body back to its innate health. This became known as the 10-day healing retreat. We've helped thousands of people get their health restored so they can live their life to the fullest extent. There is no reason for you to suffer from anything. Once you learn the 4 natural laws of healing and follow those, it has been my experience and belief that you can heal from anything. You can learn more about that at livingwaterscleanse.com. Click on the link, the video, 4 natural laws of healing.
Good morning, everyone. David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. And today I have a very special guest. I almost had to arm twist her to get her on the show. So she comes here I'm so excited about this show. If you're a person that's got any stress in your life, if you've got anxiety, adrenal fatigue, you've had trauma, thyroid problems, depression, you will need to listen to the show, because this guest today was with an organization that I think is not only, I know is going to change the world. So our guest is Deborah Rozman, PhD. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
A little bit about her. She is president and CEO, co-CEO with HeartMath founder and chairman Doc Childer of HeartMath Inc. She's a behavioral psychologist, and since 1991, she has helped lead HeartMath's mission to facilitate a more resilient and heart-based world. HeartMath's programs provide scientifically validated coherence techniques for emotional self-regulation and internal energy management to improve health and well-being, build resilience, and enhance intuition and innovation. HeartMath Inc., based the award-winning M-Wave and Inner Balance HRV coherence feedback technologies, help people increase heart-brain coherence for more effective decision-making, optimal performance, team building, and leadership. You can find more at heartmath.com. Our guest today has co-authored several books. She's been on all these major telesummits and so forth about heart math and heart coherence. And, so many people, Deborah, have been the secret and so forth, about achieving wealth and achieving their dreams. But what comes down to it, this heart thing is pretty cool. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into doing what you're doing?
Oh, well, thank you. I from a young age, I wanted to know how to change habits and behaviors. And I studied at University of Chicago. There was so rats and statistics back then, and humanistic psychology was just starting. I came out here to California, and there was so much happening on consciousness and ways we could detox or change attitudes, behaviors, health. It was fascinating. And then when I met HeartMath founder Doc Childer, before it was called HeartMath, and he started talking about the intelligence of the heart and how the heart really informs the brain and nervous system, because it's the main area where spirit enters the human system. And he wanted to research it because he'd been a meditator for many years, and I was meditating. And I was like, yeah, that really resonated with me. So the HeartMath Institute started in 1991. And I was so excited to see the breakthrough research, which was published in the American Journal of Cardiology, 1995,
Wow.
showing the first time the link between our emotional state and the heart rhythms, the variable changes in heart rate. That gave us a window to develop training programs, techniques, and tools and feedback technology for people to see in real time how they could shift their heart rhythm, which shifted how they felt, how they perceived. It was like a wow moment that they had that agency, that you really could self-regulate.
Well, that's what I noticed. I didn't start doing meditation until I saw a YouTube video with Dr. Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. It's always, my mind was just always too busy. People would say, David, you need to meditate. And it's like, yeah, I can't slow down. But that's when I bought some of their programs, and I bought your device.
Yeah.
And got the feedback, and I'm a fairly competitive guy, and I learned that this is not about being competitive.
No. This is about learning how to get your heart and mind and emotions in sync. And competition distorts it. So you have to really get to that place where you're activating feelings of love or kindness or compassion or care, appreciation. Those heart qualities, those positive emotions are what synchronize your heart and brain. So it's like checkmate, go to your heart, make these connections, and watch the feedback on your inner balance sensor and your M-Wave software. And then you can refine your use of the techniques or practice until you see the feedback of your heart rate variability or heart rhythm pattern turn into this beautiful, smooth, rolling hills. And that's called a coherent waveform, a sine wave. And that wave is where you know your heart and brain and body are synchronizing. That's gives you the inner reference to, oh, this is where I need to go to change my baseline stress response. This is how I can change behaviors. This is my ready state. And that is so powerful. Thousands of people have been helped because now they know how to get into the coherence or the ready state.
So this would be very useful if I've got some anxiety, or if I've heard some news that's very disturbing in my world. So this would be a time to use this.
Absolutely. Well, there's two reasons to use it at those times. One is you really have more management, energy management over how long you let an anxiety run in your system. We're all going to feel triggered at times and anxious certain times. But how do you reboot? Just like your computer, how do you reset your inner operating system? That's what this gives you the power and the ability to do. So then now you have a new view, more objective view of the situation. And you also have more access to your heart's intuitive guidance, what we call heart intelligence, to be able to see, oh, what's my best approach? This is powerful stuff. So what you do is you change your behavior, your modus operandi. And as you do this in the moment when stress or anxiety or frustration or impatience or gets you, or blame, and instead of going down that rat hole, you know how to pause it, stop it, shift. And then what happens is, and usually in our pre and post studies, within 6 weeks of doing this in real time or practicing in your meditations to get into that heart rhythm state, that you have a baseline change, meaning the same old stuff doesn't trigger you as much. You're not getting as anxious. So we've seen over 15,000 people average 40% reduction in anxiety among people who said they felt anxious often to always.
You're saying 40%?
40%.
40%.
Yeah.
Wow.
60% reduction in depression.
Wow.
I mean, amazing reductions because all this cascades into stress response, inability to sleep, headaches, stomach aches. It's a whole cascade. You get it right at the core, at the source. And you shift, you reboot your system through the heart. It changes a whole cascade effect of immune response, hormonal response. But most of all, as a psychologist, how you're looking at life, at the situation right in the moment. And that's what people want. That's empowerment.
So this is not a thinking process. This is more of a feeling process. Is that what I hear you saying?
Exactly. You shift your attention first to the area around your heart. And we can do it together. What quick coherence technique.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Let's shift your attention to the area around your heart. You can put your hand on your heart if that helps you keep your attention.
All right.
And just pretend your breath is flowing in and out of the heart or chest area. Breathe a little more slowly, a little more deeply than usual. Just find an easy rhythm that's comfortable as you keep your focus on your heart. So some people breathe into a count of 5 or 6, breathe out to a count of 5 or 6. And if I had you hooked up to our new HeartMath app or one of our sensors, you would see your heart rhythm changing immediately in real time. Now, What you do is you continue this heart focused breathing, activate a feeling, a genuine feeling of something you appreciate or feel grateful for in your life. Could be a pet, could be nature, could be a loved one, something where it's easy to feel gratitude, or an event, something that happened that you're appreciating. And you're just breathing that feeling or attitude in through the area of the heart and out through the area. So heart focused breathing plus activating and feeling positive attitude, a positive emotion, brings your heart rhythms into coherence. And you can sustain that for 1 minute, and it starts a cascade effect of new hormones, new immune response. It takes your nervous system that's been dysregulated through stress and re-regulates it. It's the most powerful way to transform stress or anxiety that I know of.
It's amazing the change in the feeling and how you slow down.
Yeah, so you have to slow down and breathe, but you have to shift the breathing and the attitude, and then you start to feel it.
I'm going to tell you two standout things that I noticed after doing this for several years. I was always one pretty quick to anger. I referee and, of course, run a business, lots of stresses. I had an employee that I knew that needed to be let go. And she is one that had been really hard on us about how we need to change things and how we weren't doing things right. But anyway, I hadn't replaced her yet. She came in one day and just started screaming at me at the end of the day, telling me all the bad things about my wife, about me. And in that moment, I turned around and I looked at her. And rather than shouting and yelling back at her, I went, oh my gosh, this is cool. She's going to fire herself. And I had this talk in my brain going, wow, those are pretty bad things you're saying about us. And it's okay. Wow. All right. I need to get the key back from her. And so I let her vent. And then I said, okay, great. Thank you for your service. Just need to get the key from you. And it was like, and I was actually grateful. It was like, okay, she did us a favor sooner than I had planned. And that was cool. And then I noticed when I'm refereeing, you get coaches that get in your ear, and before I just get so upset with them.
Yeah.
And I found I was able to stay calmer and actually think about what was next and not give so much attention to what I normally, my reaction would be, shut up and sit down, coach, which I had told coaches to do. To just to more tune them out and then tell them to go, okay, I need you to sit down. So,
Well,
big shift.
You had more intelligence available to you. I just want to
Big
point out
time. Yeah.
you're in more common sense, which is what heart intelligence is. We operate more from how we would like to be, our best self, rather than how we habitually react and then feel bad. And that drains so much energy.
So lots of attention is put on saying affirmations and changing the words you think, which is, of course, important. But I hear what you're saying, and what I've noticed over the years I've been doing this is that you got to tie in the heart with it. Is that a better explanation?
It's a simple explanation. Affirmations from the mind do very little. Affirmations from your genuine feeling heart do everything, because you're setting a whole different electrical energetic field in motion. In fact, not only do you get into this heart rhythm coherent state, but we've been able to measure that pattern 3-5 feet from the body. So there's a field. Your heart is the most powerful generator of electricity in the body, 100 times more than the brain. And it is broadcasting like a radio station how you feel. That's how we pick up on each other's vibes. So when you're stressed, frustrated, anxious, a really jagged, higgledy-piggledy heart rate variability pattern is broadcast like a frequency through the field, like how your cell phones work, how the radio works. When you're feeling loving and grateful and appreciative and kind, and those feel-good feelings, you're broadcasting a coherent waveform through the field. It affects each other, it affects children, it affects our relationships, and unconsciously as well as consciously. So it's affecting every cell of our body. No wonder it impacts our perception, our brain, and our health. That's why you want to be able to reboot, recenter, when you get out. We're all going to get out and triggered, but the powerful discovery is, how do you get back quicker?
Wow. So you have, of course, a program, you have a device that can monitor this. And I found that to be so helpful, to have that feedback.
It's essential to train yourself instead of just imagining it. As a many, many year meditator, I still use it to make sure I'm honing my practice, because it's so easy with all the uncertainty in the world today to have the body get distressed and you don't know why you're feeling a little tense or anxious. And having that heart rhythm feedback is like so secure secure because you can just go through the technique I taught you, which you want to use all during the day by itself. And then you see for real. And so you're creating this baseline change. That's what we all want, is to be operating at another baseline where we have more ease and flow through our day, where if something gets us out, we don't get so reactive. It's really important because what's happening in the world right now, all the polarization and the
Oh, yeah.
separation, it creates an energetic field that we all vibrate to. And we need power tools like this, heart power tools to recenter. So that's why we invented the technology. This is the inner, well, you can't see it on the radio, but it's the Inner Balance Coherence Plus sensor. And it works with the HeartMath app. Now you can download the HeartMath app for free at the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And you can use a 7-day free trial, or if you get one of these sensors, you get the lifetime subscription with it. But you can actually see your heart rhythm pattern. And the camera, we've refined it so that the camera in the back of your phone can actually show you when you're in coherence. It picks up the heart rhythm pattern as well. So you can try it with just the camera sensor and get the feel. And 7 days to greater coherence program is free. And then if you want to really use it for HeartMath training, the HeartMath experience, there's all sorts of training programs, short courses, long courses, audiobooks, podcasts. The whole HeartMath system is in that app. You want to become a subscriber or get the big sensor that I just held up, the HeartMath coherence sensor, which is totally accurate, hands-free, and will start to show your data progress. So we've done everything we can to provide this kind of M-Wave Pro for health professionals who work with patients, clients, or coaches like yourself who work with clients. And then having this, people can use on their own and all over the world. We just launched it, so we're getting people in 100 countries who are starting to use the HeartMath technology. So I really
Wow.
encourage people to try the 7-day free trial, see what it's like.
When we do a sound bath healing, and we have them do a prayer meditation if they like while we're listening to those sounds and tones. And I've been hooking them up to the professional HeartMath coherence device, and so they could have that feedback. And it's interesting to see how quickly, when they really focus and really let go, a lot of what we do here is about letting go. And not only just doing the colon hydrotherapy, but letting go emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually, and so forth. So it's really, this last cleanse, people really got into it. I mean, I've been hooking up now for probably about 6-7 months, like every day, versus I would do it for 2 or 3 days, and they just weren't getting it until I did it several days. And they started feedback, and that was really key, is having that feedback. So guys, if you're listening to the show, I'll put this in the show notes over at wholebodydetoxshow.com, but go to heartmath.com and they can find it there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You find the sensor there. You find the different programs we have there. People want to become certified as a health professional or coach. We have those programs and our mission.
But take a quick break. But if you want to get the special device to see how your heart coherence is, you can go to the show notes on the podcast at wholebodydetoxshow.com, or you can go to our website, livingwaterscleanse.com, and click on shop, and you'll find them there, or in the show notes at Whole Body Detox Show. Either place you can get them, or call the office at 208-378-99 Welcome back to the show. We've been talking to Dr. Deborah Rozman of HeartMath, and we've been learning about heart coherence, and they have a special tool so you can get immediate feedback to see how in sync your heart is with your brain. And if you want that wonderful device, you can call our office at 208-378-9911 or go on to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com, click on shop, and you'll find them there. Or if you're listening on the podcast, there'll be in the show notes a special link where you can get a special rate by going and getting these devices for you now. And now back to the show.
Their mission is to help activate the heart of humanity, because it's only through that heart connection that we're going to solve separative problems, our polarization, but
Right.
it starts with each one of us.
Well, that's
Man.
big. And the radio show that we're on it's KIDO Talk Radio, and political show. I mean, a lot of politics talked. And in our state, Idaho, very conservative, and everyone gets on every morning, 5-hour segment. And then there's, of course, the other known names out there. But I've always said that, everyone's complaining about this and that and upset about this and that.
Yeah.
What I noticed for me is that when I was at some of the big events, I've been to Joe DiBenda's events, 2 of those, and doing this, I came to the conclusion that the only way we're going to switch this around is to do this kind of work. Because if we're angry with anybody, Joe Biden, it doesn't matter, Trump, it doesn't matter who you're angry with or upset with, you're going to get more upsetness back. When I start the cleanse, teach right away a little muscle testing technique, and we talk about letting go of all the old debris of the past, because we got to go forward into the future.
Right.
And it's very clear to me that this is the change. In fact, I'm also chairman of Items for Safe Technology, and we've been stopping and talking governments into better writing their ordinances for cell towers, because they're very harmful.
Yeah.
And one of the things I learned, I took a course also from Lynn McTaggart, who you know,
Mhm.
and she has a book out called The Power of 8, and we were doing these coherence healings remotely. I says, guys, we don't have enough money. We don't have the power the big wireless has. We're going to do a prayer intention every Sunday night at 8. Join me if you want. This is how we're going to change things. We're going to change it from the heart. Am I on the right track?
You got it. I mean, Lynn's done amazing work. She's had Arabs and Jews who just thought each other was the devil.
Yeah.
And not talk in one of these Power of 8 groups, and it's jointly finding some altruistic positive emotion they could agree on to put out heart to the world, to put out heart energy to each other. And it was amazing. It was magical, the transformation, because you know why? They got to recognize that we're all human. We all have connected in the heart. We're all the same. We just need to care, to have compassion and understand each other. We need to know that what we're doing is affecting each other. And that happens through the heart. I'm sorry, the mind can conceptualize it, but you gotta feel it to know it. And that's what this world needs.
Yeah, we teach a lot of visualization techniques here as well. And Lynn, I think, also did a study, didn't she, where she took and had them do this kind of practice on a war and slowed the war down. And I think she's been doing that on the Gaza thing.
There have been quite a few studies showing the impact of heart-based intention.
Yeah.
Care and love and outgoing, coherent heart energy. That's the science. Mixing science and spirituality is the science is you're putting out heart rhythm coherence, which changes the brain, bigger picture thinking. It changes the body. That's the key. And then what you do with it, with others, the intention and relationships, it just changes the world that we perceive. And that's what we all need. So, and nobody's surprised when I say, hey, it's the heart. It's like, oh yeah, I kind of feel that and know that, but no one knew there was a system. That's the math of the heart.
How did you guys figure that out? I mean, this is amazing. How does this little gizmo pick up on this resonance and gives us a measurement?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how it does. There's a little pulse sensor here.
Yeah.
Goes in your ear, and it's picking up your heart rate, but it's doing more than that. The algorithm is analyzing the changes in your heart rate, beat to beat to beat to beat. Your heart rate is not 50 beats per minute or 60 or 70. That's an average. It is 50 and then 60 and then 40 and then 80. It is going all over the place with each beat. And that's why it's called heart rate variability. Well, if you plot it over time, you see the emotional state that is determining that. So when we're stressed, impatient, frustrated, angry, it's that heart rate variability changes real jagged and irregular and incoherent waveform. And we feel incoherent because the heart is sending that pattern to your brain and every cell in your body. So no wonder you feel dysregulated.
Right.
When you shift into the heart rhythm coherence, parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems are all smoothly running together, synchronized. Then your heart sends the signal to the brain that everything is calm and balanced. So go to your higher cognitive functions, and that's how you see common sense, bigger picture, intuitive. We call it intuitive inspiration or guidance. You see, oh, I hadn't thought of that. Maybe I'll approach it this way. And that's exciting. That's really inspirational because you see it work. And that's the power of heart-brain synchronization.
Touch with this and mastering this heart coherence, I'm going to have better intuition.
Yes, exactly. There have been studies and 2 back-to-back studies, editions of the Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine published the research done on heart intuition. When
Wow.
your heart rhythm is coherent and the signal to the brain and the brain's response to the body, it's quite amazing. So if you want more intuitive guidance, or what we call heart intelligence in your life, practice heart coherence, and it increases as you do.
So powerful. And yet, and I hear this here, people get cancer. They say, I'm going to fight cancer. I'm going to fight this. We're going to fight this battle at the State House. I'm going to fight that. We're fighting. And what are we getting back? We're rebounding back like a boomerang back to us, that negative energy, rather than approaching it with more of a love or gratefulness or happiness or joyfulness. And it's that synchronization. And wow, what a change.
If you fight resistance with resistance, you just end up in war, and you end up in destruction, whether it's cells or relationships or whatever. If you befriend resistance, meaning you have compassion for it, you don't need to agree with it, but you have compassion, you embrace it with love, you transform it.
Wow, that's so powerful. And looking at the people I've monitored here with the heart coherence, those that have come in carrying a lot of old emotional baggage, and having big resistance to letting it go. I see it on the heart rate variability. It's just very jaggedy. And it doesn't get there. And those that are more grateful and happy, I mean, on this cleanse, my wife and I says, oh my gosh, this has been the best group ever. And because, sometimes people get so upset and they blame my wife or they blame us. Is that blame method, right? And this cleanse, these people were like, I mean, we went to the medium coherence level and they knocked that out of the park. I went, what? You guys are show-offs. I didn't get there that fast.
It's very affirming that this is the right track to be on, because blame and judgment, however justified, and it's hard not to feel righteous indignation or justified judgment when someone hurts you or does wrong or creates an inconvenience, but you're the one that's paying the price. So learning how to let me recenter, reboot, and let it go, like you say, powering up with the heart will add to your ability to do that. It gives you more meaningfulness, that genuine, put your heart into it, like they say to sports or athletes or singing. Put your heart into it. It makes all the difference in your performance.
Oh, big time. Big time. I got a question for you. Having, gone to church most of my life, what I noticed in a lot of churches, and I haven't been to everyone in the world, of course, but we tend to prayer with very bad feeling, like, oh, let's pray for Sister Louise. She has cancer. She's fighting it now. And there's just this ugh. And it's like, let's be thankful for her healing. Why don't have we messed up? Have we been going about this the wrong way all these years? What happened there?
Well, that is really good. The mind tends to go to the negativity. It's just the way it's polarized, looking for problems to solve. The heart tends to look for solutions and open up the heart and embrace. You got to get the two of them together, and then the mind follows the heart and goes, oh, a solution first, and then let me see a bigger picture, and now let me use my intellect to see how to help this. And what's happened is that we haven't been taught this in society, so we default to the mind cut off from the heart, and that's where the negative. I have one of our investors, I'll tell you this story, is from Pakistan. He's Muslim, but he had a profound healing and awakening, he and his wife, through HeartMath. And his dream is to have all of the Muslim people, when they pray to Mecca, instead of just reciting the Quran in their head, and
Right.
wondering what they're going to have for dinner, or feeling blame of the people who are anti-Muslim, and to actually shift and use the sensor, use the new Inner Balance app with the get into coherence
Wow.
with the camera, and then say a prayer in heart coherence. I thought, let's do it. It'll transform the planet if people can learn to do that in whatever church they go to.
Not if, when. It's just a matter of us getting it out there.
Yes, that's it. It's just a matter of letting everybody know. Try it yourself, which is why we did this free app with the camera sensor, so you can try it and get the feel of it, learn something, and then let the world know.
If you're listening to this show and you haven't already went to heartmath.com and got your free trial so you can check this out, what are you waiting for? You've got to get this done. You've been, all of us, we've been out there and we've been doing things the wrong way. We've been fighting the battle and we've been under all this stress. Stop it. We got to just stop the stress and welcome. The first thing they do when they walk in the door, I do a little muscle technique, muscle test. I have them hold their two fingers, they're not the index finger, but this finger down here, you can't see on the radio, but next to the pinky and the thumb together as tightly as they can. And I say, I want you to say, what do you love to do? And they say, I love to sing. Okay, I love to sing. They say it out loud. I try to pull the fingers apart and they can't. I say, try to sing. They say, I try to sing. Comes apart. I say, hope to sing. It comes apart. I wish to sing. Comes apart. My point of this story is that when I say I am healed or I am singing, you can't pull it apart. Or I love to sing. That 4-letter word that Jesus taught is so powerful.
Yeah.
We put the love in the body. You change the cells, 50 trillion cells. Bam, you change those cells and you will heal. You will be better. You will be an attraction, a beacon for light and love and healing. And that's what's powerful. And when we got those 8, sometimes we only had 4 people on a call doing these remote healing things, and people felt it.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 people remotely, California, Australia, Seattle, Boise, one person, we didn't even have their picture. We just thought of them and they felt it. Oh yeah, I'm better. My hip doesn't hurt now. That's amazing.
When they talk about distance prayer, distance healing,
right.
The mechanism is heart coherence. It's getting in that positive attitude, feeling state and intending from there. And then it radiates out into the field. The field is how we're going to transform this planet quickly.
Yeah.
It's putting enough love and care and compassion and coherent heart energy into the field. In fact, HeartMath Research Center, the HeartMath Institute, has a global coherence initiative.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Incredible research showing how people doing what we call heart lock-ins, which is like a heart coherent meditation, in different parts of the world actually synchronize at the same time their heart rhythms. They feel it, and it synchronizes with the Earth's field. In fact, we're going to be doing an event in May, live and online here, talking about that research on personal coherence, global coherence, and really, it's called Love Unleashed.
Love Unleashed.
Love into the planet.
In May. And so they could go to heartmath.com and find the dates of that and tune into that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm not sure it's up yet. We just launched it, but go to HeartMath here. Go to heartmath.com.
Yeah.
Download the free HeartMath Experience course.
Okay.
We'll get your email when you do that, and then you will get the announcement on the May event.
Okay. And guys, if you're driving down the road listening to this, I'll put this in the show notes, a whole body detox show. If you're listening to the radio, just call the office at Living Waters Cleanse, 208-378-9911. We'll get you the information so you can, because we need to change the world. Look, I know there's a lot of people in the State House who are making laws right now and people are getting upset. I'm telling you, this will change the way politics gets done. And this is what I mean. I had a guy here with a business. He's got 300 employees, and I taught them all HeartMath. He brought his daughter in, who's the top VP in the company. And I said, think about this. If you start your meetings with you guys feeling love, feeling joy, feeling gratitude, think about how different the meetings would be, no matter what the diverse of ideas. Think about that. And those of you who are listening to those politicians in Idaho,
you're absolutely right, because it's not just this sweet churchy thing to do, like, oh, I'm sweet. It's actually putting out different frequencies into the environment as you do that. Different heart rhythm pattern with a frequency. Everything's frequencies and energies, and people feel it. They feel uplifted. But more than that, the heart is telling all their brains to go to the higher cognitive functions, the frontal lobes, and now you have shorter meeting times, more creative meetings, less ego. You're using human potential, but it's through the heart.
Less ego by going through the heart. Wow. Because, there's so much of that blocks, good legislation, good laws, just the whole city changing things. You can't do it from an anger. And it's easy to get angry. But man, it just pulls you down.
That's right. So new intelligence, we call heart intelligence, is to common sense say, this isn't working. It hasn't worked. Everything's been tried, but going to the heart coherence first. So let's see what happens. And we've done so much pre and post research on that, showing actually more creativity, more performance, shorter meeting times, better relationships. I mean, it goes on because you're now tuning the human operating system.
Wow. And a lot of the research is over at HeartMath.org, correct?
Yes, but you can access that through .com as well.
Okay.
But yes, you'll see all the research studies at the Research Institute, .org.
Right. You know, guys, what we just tried today, I mean, just practice a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I recently had a situation I was really, really worried about it. And I just sat there in my bed one night and I felt the emotion that I wanted to feel. Gratefulness is the one I love to do. And I started crying. And and the next day I felt so much better. But I got some feedback from someone that I was concerned about. And it was like, whoa. I mean, it was amazing. It was like, wow, that was a change in 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. And the beauty is the downside of what's happening in the world and all this incoherence. The upside is there's more and more people awakening to the heart, because it's like, wait a minute, there's no place else to go except to start loving and caring more. So the stress is a gift for people to finally go to the heart. That's certainly my story years ago. There's got to be something else, praying to the universe and then having magic happen the next day. That facilitation is part of the energetic field. So as people do this, it's accelerating.
Yeah.
Just like the negativity is accelerating, the positivity is accelerating if we get on that wavelength.
You're a psychologist. Would you say that this is quicker, faster, and easier than sitting and talking about your issues of the past?
Definitely. Oh my God, that goes nowhere. I mean, unless the heart comes in to forgive the issues of the past, you just go around in circles mentally. I've taught that, studied it. What we need to do is bring the heart in to lift the vibration and the pitch so that you perceive the past with new eyes.
Wow. And I also understand that you guys originally started teaching this, well, not originally, but to people in the fire departments, police departments, the Army.
We do. First responders. We're in 130 chief nurses in the whole Kaiser Northern California system who are certified in HeartMath and teaching this to patients and other nurses. Yeah, this first responders, fire chief. I mean, it's all over. Public health servants, schools. Right. We're in over 1,000 schools.
Wow.
Because we do a lot of pre and post. It's evidence-based. It works.
There was a quarterback during the playoffs for some team. I don't know if it was college or NFL, but he would sit down to post and meditate. And I thought, I bet you that dude is doing more than meditate. I bet he's doing a little heart coherence. I think he's a much more ascended soul.
Well, we have about 8 Major League Baseball teams that use our heart rhythm, our technology in the dugout to recenter and get coherent. The Houston Astros coach had them use it before they won the World Series. So what? Yes, yeah, and Olympic athletes use it. It's all get in sync, get in the zone.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fascinating.
It is. Oh, if you go to HeartMath.com and search on sports, you'll see.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Okay, so you're brand new. Go to HeartMath.com. Just get the 7-day free app so you can see on your phone. And then if it resonates with you, get the app you can buy, put on your phone. There's also one for the computer. That's one I've been using all these years. I really like that one.
Yeah, the M-Wave Pro, the M-Wave 2 is a handheld. Go to HeartMath.com and explore around. Get the free HeartMath experience because it'll give you an overview. Sign up and you'll get all of our emails.
And there's also some good videos over on Gaia TV.
Yeah.
Great series over there. I've watched it several times and very amazing tools that you have put out there. So this is pretty awesome. So I'm excited to have this out, put this out there. We're going to change the world. You're changing the world and looking forward to this global coherence. Now, is this an ongoing weekly thing where people will be tuning in at a certain time?
That sounds great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing with the world this valuable tool.
You can find links to buy the heart coherence devices in the show notes or call the office at 208-378-9911 or get them in our store at livingwaterscleanse.com.
Guys, you've been listening to Dr. Deborah Rozman, President and CEO of HeartMath, HeartMath.com. Thank you for being on the show. And my friends, you've been listening to the Whole Body Detox Show. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, where miracles begin by healing from within. Till next week, my friends.